What's good, YouTube? My name is Coach, and I teach people at my local game store how to play Kill Team, and I treat this YouTube channel exactly the same. So if you're brand new to Kill Team and you want to learn how to play the game at a high level, I recommend that you subscribe to this channel so that you can become a better player. In today's video, we're going to do a quick review for the Inquisition Agent Kill Team. Keep in mind that all the content on this channel is designed for beginners, so we're just going to go over the bare minimum so that new players can understand. So let's go ahead and get started. Whenever we're talking about a kill team, you have to see the operatives page. This page is going to tell us the types of agents that we're allowed to have on our kill team. To keep this as simple as possible, the Inquisition Agent Kill Team has 12 operatives. You do have the option to take 7 models instead of 12 and then fill out the other 5 with different models, but just to keep today as simple as possible, we're not going to go over that today. The agents that we're going to choose from in this kill team are highlighted in the white bold text. So you're going to have 1 interrogator, 1 tomb skull, and 1 of each of the other models that we have listed over here. Also keep in mind that the gun servitor model you are allowed to have 2 of on your kill team. You just have to make sure that you have different weapons on each of the gun servitors. The first model that we're going to go over is the interrogator agent. When we take a look at the interrogator agent's stats, he has 8 wounds, which means that if he takes 8 damage on the battlefield, you lose that model. He has an extended stock auto pistol, which essentially is a pistol that you can shoot long range and close range. At 2 and 3 damage, this model is not really a model that's going to be doing a ton of damage. What you really want this model for is his skills. To keep this as simple as possible, the ability Denunciation gives friendly models within 3 inches of your interrogator 1 more attack when attacking, and the ability Sanctification reduces the amount of attacks going against that model by 1 if it's within 3 inches of the interrogator. Now, what's important to know is that the interrogator agent is basically partnered together with the tomb skull. The interrogator can't do either of those abilities at once. What I recommend is giving the skull the Sanctification ability, and then the interrogator will keep the Denunciation. Keeping in mind that the models that stay within 3 inches of each of those models receive the Denunciation and Sanctification buff. This kill team already seems like a kill team where you want to keep models close together on the board and play intelligently. When we take a look at the gun servitor, this is the model that we are allowed to have 2 of, okay? He has 11 wounds and 1 APL. It says that if this model is within 5 inches of an inquisitorial agent or another inquisitor model, you add 1 to this operative's APL. So essentially, like I said earlier, this is a team that you want to keep together. You want to keep them close so he can shoot and then move as long as you're close to another model. And I say that in that order in particular because almost every one of his weapons has the heavy rule, which means that you're not allowed to move and shoot inside the same phase. Let me tell you something, this dude's weapons are really strong. He has a heavy bolter, a multi-melta, and a plasma cannon. If you're building out this team, I would recommend building the plasma cannon and then building the multi-melta, because these 2 guns are going to delete things on the board. You could choose the heavy bolter, but he's not a space marine and you don't have bolter discipline, so it's not like you're really going to be shooting twice with this model. That's generally when bolters are the best. So I would just recommend taking the melta and the plasma cannon because those 2 weapons do massive damage. The next model we have here is the Quest Keeper Agent. 7 wounds. This model is not a model that's probably going to stay alive for very long. To me, this is a model that you just run up the board and just try to do as much melee damage as possible before this model is lost. This model has an ability called Irrepressible Purpose, which essentially allows you to deal damage even when the model itself has been dealt a fatal blow. Next, we have the Auto Savant Agent. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this model is going to be nerfed. this rule, sometimes I sit here and I read some things in this game sometimes where I'm like, either this team is that bad that they need this powerful of an ability, or they're just throwing stuff at the wall and being like, let's see how this works. This would be funny. Because this model has an ability called Scrivener that, I'm gonna read this. Each subsequent time your opponent uses each strategic or tactical ploy, excluding command rerolls, during the battle, you gain 1 CP. So essentially, every time your opponent activates an ability, you gain CP, which allows you to activate more of your own ploys and abilities. Which to me just seems so broken. You're essentially doubling your CP from your opponents using their CP or command points. To me, this model right here, when you're playing this game, guys, just keep this model on the back of the board. This model is not doing any damage to anything. Just put it in the back of the board away from everything so that it just stays alive the entire game. This model essentially doesn't exist. Just hide this as much as you can and just keep it protected so that you gain all that extra CP, guys. This model right here, to me, this is broken. This is too good. The next model we have here is the Death World Veteran Agent. At 7 wounds, this is a model you want to play with intelligently. He does have the ability called Hunter, which allows him to charge when he's concealed, which essentially means he can deal melee damage even when he's hiding. Technically, you're not allowed to do that. He also has the ability called Weathered, which essentially allows you to ignore one of your opponent's attack dice. So in other words, you get to attack 2 times in a row for free. Next model we have here is the Mystic Agent at 7 wounds. This is not a model that you really want to be fighting a lot with. This is one of the models that's going to buff your team. The Mystic Agent is either going to allow you to re-roll attack dice with the models next to it, or to re-roll defensive dice with the models next to it. Keep this next to a model you want to keep alive. The next model we have is the Penal Legionnaire Agent at 7 wounds. This is another fragile model. This model basically allows you to re-roll attacks against enemies that have taken damage and has the ability to ignore any negative effects against it. In other words, this model deletes wounded models up close, and I would focus on using the hand flamer damage. Try not to charge with melee with this model unless you know you're gonna kill with the first hit. The next model we have here is the Pistolier Agent. Guys, protect this model. This model is going to do a lot of work for you on this kill team. It's very strong. He ignores negative modifiers. You can shoot with both pistols he has, his plasma pistol and his suppressed auto pistol, for 1 activation point. The last model we have here is the Hexorcist Agent. The Hexorcist Agent has a shotgun, so he only has a 6-inch range when shooting. Keep in mind that any enemy model within 5 inches of this model is not allowed to re-roll dice. And you can spend 1 AP or activation point to target a model and say that model is not allowed to activate that ability during this turn. I would place this model next to units that I want to protect on my side of the board, so that I can protect them if any models are running up too close. And we generally don't go over strategic and tactical ploys on this channel, but I think this tactical ploy is so strong that we have to go over it. This is called Absolute Authority. I'm gonna read the entire thing because this is, guys, to me, this is the reason why this kill team is gonna be super annoying to play against. Absolute Authority says, use this tactical ploy during the battle when an opponent uses a strategic or tactical ploy. Their ploy is not used. The command point they spent is refunded, and they cannot use it again during this turning point. In other words, whenever your opponents and you're playing this team use a strategic or tactical ploy you don't want them to use, you can just say no. Keeping in mind that out of all of the ploys and strategic ploys that we have over here, right, you can activate 1 during each turning point. But keep in mind, you have the model that whenever they use their CP, you're going to gain CP. So this entire team is completely based around using all of these ploys effectively, and 1 being Absolute Authority, which is basically says like, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Which to me seems, I've never played against a control type kill team before, and this feels very controlling. And in other games that I play, control usually means annoying. I do think that it's fair just because this team seems to not have a lot of models that are too offensive, so it may be necessary based on the level of strength that this team actually has. In the end, for this kill team, I would recommend that if you are a player that has a ton of skill and has been playing kill team for years, this is a kill team that I would say would be extremely fun for you to play. If you're somebody that's brand new, I would not even look this way at this kill team, because to me, it seems like, I'm relatively experienced in this game, and this seems like too much for me sometimes. With this, there's a lot more thinking involved with this kill team because their firepower is not as powerful, their sustain is not as powerful, but their real power comes from their abilities in conjunction with the tactical ploys and the strategic ploys that they have on this team. So if you like this video, you can like this video, and if you want to become a better kill team player, you can subscribe to this channel. Use the comment section below as a method of letting me know the videos you want to see in the future. Whenever I end these videos, I always say the same thing. Always remember, eat healthy, okay? Work out every single day. Most importantly, you got to remember to believe in yourself, all right? Peace out, people.